My dear Christian, I will talk on a very, very important topic. Watching this video from the beginning to the end is very, very important. Watching this video from the beginning to the end is a matter of life or death. For that, I want you to hear me very well. Hear me with your heart. Don't hear me with your ears. I am sure if you hear me with your heart, my talking will penetrate your heart because most of Christians are not arrogant, are not proud. If they know the correct way, they walk the correct way, in the correct way. If they hear the correct advice, they follow the correct advice. I will talk about very great and incredible scientific miracles in the Holy Quran and Sunnah. And also, I will make spots about very important points in your books. For 60 minutes or 7 minutes, hear me and then you are free. The God said in Surah eltharyat, in chapter number 27, in verse number 47, in Surah eltharyat, in the Holy Quran. And we constructed the heaven with strength and indeed, and we will keep expanding. And we constructed the heaven with strength and we will keep expanding, which means that God said that He will keep expanding the heaven. The recent science proves that the heaven expands with a very high velocity, which it reaches 30,000 light years every 1 second, because there are 275 million stars are created or born every day. For that, the heaven has to be expanded to accommodate these huge numbers of stars. And if the heaven doesn't expand, the university will be burst. How the Prophet Muhammad knew that? How he knew that the heaven expands? Did he said that from himself, or the God inspired to him that and teach him that? And we constructed the heaven with strength and indeed, and we will keep expanding. This is what the Holy Quran said from more than 1,400 years. And how the Prophet Muhammad knew that, and he was an illiterate man, can read and can write. In the opposite side, you said in your books that the God created the 7 skies, the 7 heavens and the 7 grounds in 6 days, and then he got very tired. And then for that he gave himself a break on Saturday. Is that logic? Is that reasonable to sit and to insult the God Allah, who have unlimited power? So said about him that he got very tired after creating the 6 skies or 7 skies or 7 grounds. Is this logic? This is your book. Another very great miracle in our book. The Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith, if the fly fall in the vessel, dip all of it and then remove it, that one of its wings is a disease and the other is a treatment. The recent science proves that one of the wings of the fly contains antibiotics which kill the parasites and the microbes which dropped from the another wing. For that, the Prophet Muhammad ordered us, if the fly fall in the vessel, to dip all of it. When we dip all of it, it will drop these antibiotics in the vessel and it will kill the parasites which fall from the another wing, and it will pure and clean the vessel. Very great miracle. The recent science proves that there are more than great study in USA and in Australia proves this very great fact, and now they produce antibiotics from the body of the fly for the treatment of many diseases. How the Prophet Muhammad knew that from more than 1,400 years, and he was an illiterate man, can read and can write. Very great evidence and miracle which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you insulted the great prophet Dawood, and said about him that he committed the big sin, adultery, with the wife of his army commander, who called Uriah. He saw her when she was take a shower, and he loved her. For that, he make illegal relationship with her behind her husband. Is that logic? And he said also that he put him in the beginning of the army in the battle to make him killed, and then to stole about his wife. How dare you to insult the great prophet Dawood in your book? And also you saw in your book that the big son of Dawood love his sister because he was having a very beautiful sister. He said to her, I want to sleep with you. She said to him, how much you will give to me? How much you pay to me? He paid to her, and he make the big adultery, the big sin with her, and he sleep with her. And when their father, the great prophet Dawood knew this illegal relationship between the son and his sister, he got very angry, but he don't punish his son because he was loving him. Is that reasonable? And is that logic to say that about the great prophet Dawood? Another very great miracle in our book. the Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith, every human being is created about 360 joined, and he has to offer every day a charity or donation for every joined. His friend said to him, it's too hard to make that. He said to them, if you pray 2 rakas in the early morning, it will be equivalent for all that. The recent science proves that every one of us is created about 360 joined, like Muhammad said, for more than 1,400 years, and the recent science proves that. And this fact was well known and discovered from a few years only. How he knew that? Unless he is a prophet from God. Very great miracle, which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you said in your book that the God had settled down from the sky to the ground, and then the great prophet Yaqub meet him and said to him, can you fight me? He said yes. The God fight with the prophet Yaqub, and the prophet Yaqub beated him, and then he hold him from his clothes and said to him, I will not make you come settle up or climb in the sky unless you called me Israel. He said to him, okay, you are Israel. Is that logic? Is that logic to set out about the God that the human being, the prophet human being Yaqub beated the God and fight him and beat him? And is that logic to insult the God who have unlimited power? In the opposite side, the God said in the Holy Quran, very great miracle in our book, and he created, the God said in verse number 45 and verse number 46 in chapter number 27 in Surah Al-Najm, and he created the 2 mates, the male and the female, from a sperm drop when it is emitted. And he created the 2 mates, the male and the female, from a sperm drop when it is emitted. Which means that the God said from more than 1,400 years that he created the 2 types, the male and the female, from the sperm of the man. The recent science proves that the sperm of the man controls the types of the fetus, whatever it is male or female, and there is no relationship between the egg of the woman and the type of the fetus. It was well known until a few years that the egg of the woman controls the type of fetus, until the recent science proof that the sperm of the man controls the type of fetus, and there is no relationship between the egg of the woman and the type of fetus. There is 2 types of sperms, feminine sperm and male sperm. If the feminine sperm fertilize the egg of the woman, the fetus will be female, and if the male sperm fertilize it will be the fetus will be male. Very great evidence. The Quran said that for more than 1,400 years. That's how the Prophet Muhammad knew that, and he was an illiterate man, can read and can write for more than 1,400 years. Another very great miracle is in Surah Al-An'am, chapter number 8, in verse number 125. The God said in the Holy Quran, whoever Allah wants to guide him to Islam, he make his chest or make his breast expand for Islam. And whoever Allah wants to misguide him, he make his chest or he make his breast tight and constricted, as though he is climbing in the sky. This is an example for the people who don't want to believe. Which means that the God said that when you want to climb in the sky, you will feel suffocated. You will feel, because the recent science proof that the percentage of oxygen decreases in the upper layers of the sky, which is equivalent to what the Quran said. Because the Quran gives an example for the people who don't want to convert to Islam, that they are like the people who are climbing in the sky, and they will feel suffocated. How the Prophet Muhammad knew this very important fact, and this fact also pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. In the opposite side, you said in your book that the God, after the big flood in the period of the great prophet Noah, after the big flood which destroyed all the ground, the God get very sad, and he cried, and then he had an eye rash in his eyes, and he was sick in his eyes. For that the angels go or went to visit him. The God Allah get sick in his eyes, and he got an eye rash in his eyes. How dare you to say that about the God, that he got sick in his eyes, and the angels go to visit him? This is your book. Another very great miracle in our book. The non-believers said to the Prophet Muhammad, if you're really a prophet from God, split this moon for us into 2 parts, and we will believe you and support you. He said to them, can you give me a charter, a strong promise about that? They said yes. He prayed to God, and the moon has split it into two parts. They said to him, you charmed us with magic. This is magic. He said to them, why you broke your promises with me? I achieved what you want. They said, no, it is a magic. He said to them, okay, there are messengers who will come after 2 days. We can ask them if they saw which you saw. This means that it is not a magic. They said, okay. Because they know that the magic affects only the people in front of you, near you, but doesn't affect the people far away from you. The messengers came after 2 days and they said, we saw a very strange thing. We saw that the moon has split it into two parts. And he was astonished. What is the matter? They said to him, no. Your magic is very strong. It goes for a long way. For that, the God settled down in Surah Al-Qamar in chapter number 27 in verse number 1. The last day has been soon, and the moon has split it. And if they saw a great miracle, they don't believe. And they said it is a strong magic. And this is always the character of the non-believers. They ask for a great miracle, although they know that this man is prophet, and then they cancelled and broke their promises because they are arrogant and liars. And I hope you are not like these people. When the instruments dropped on the surface of the moon, they found a very long crack. The length of this crack is 125 kilometers, and the width of this crack is 1,500 meters, and the depth of this crack is 500 meters. They was astonished because they never saw a crack like this on the ground. They make studies about this crack. They found that this crack impossible to come as a result of earthquake or volcano or any other thing. And one of the scholars of NASA agency in USA said that our studies prove that the moon has broken in the past and then it's sealed another time, which proves without any doubt that the God has broke and has split the moon for his prophet for more than 1,400 years, as the Holy Quran said. What do you want more than that? Another, you said in your book, in the opposite side, that the great prophet Lot make adultery, make illegal relationship, make sex with his daughters, and he made them pregnant from him. You insulted the great prophet Lot and said that he make adultery with his daughters and make them pregnant. How dare you to say that about the great prophet Lot? This is your book. This is your book. Also, another very great miracle in our book, a non-Muslim Japanese scholar called Masaru Emoto made a great book called Message from Water about the incredible effect of reciting the Holy Quran on the water. He found many strange things. He found that the crystals of the water changed to move and to make very beautiful structures after reciting the Holy Quran. He took images for these structures and he put them in his book. Which means that the water knew that this Quran is from God. And he make studies about the water. He found that the water and the benefits of the water and the character of the water, it changed to be better and better in the treatment of many diseases after reciting Quran on it. Very great miracle. Although this man is not a Muslim, he's a scholar, a non-Muslim scholar. This is our book, and the great miracles in our book, and this is your book. I will write 8 great miracles provided with links under this book, under this video, to prove what I say. What do you want more than that? Until now, if you don't believe that the Holy Quran is from God, until now, I'm sorry to say to you that you are arrogant or you are blind. Because I told you to look at the sun in the sky, and you told me that you don't see anything. This means that you are arrogant or you are blind, man. You have to know that the miracles in the Holy Quran and Sunnah is stronger than the light of the sun and the sky. These 8 miracles is a drop in a big sea from hundreds and hundreds of miracles in the Holy Quran and Sunnah, which pushes hundreds of Christians to convert to Islam. 50,000 Christians convert to Islam in Egypt every 1 year, and 5 Christians converted every hour in USA to Islam because of this miracle. And you have to know that the Holy Quran, which contains all these miracles, said in Surah Al Imran in chapter number 3 in verse number 85, any person will accept any religion unless Islam will not be acceptable from him, and he will be from the big losers in the last day. And the Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith, I swear with whom my soul is in his hand, any person hear about me, Jewish or Christian or any another religion, and don't believe me and don't believe the religion I came with, he will be one of the hell people. You will be one of the fire people if you don't convert to Islam. I made this video because I care about you. I'm afraid about you. I don't want you to fall in fire. You will fall in fire and they will never come out of it. Don't destroy yourself. Don't destroy yourself. Don't lose the paradise. You will bite your fingers in the last day and you will cry, but you will not cry with tears. You will cry with blood. And you will remember what I say now. And you will blame yourself because you don't obey me. And you will hope to return to the life for 1 second to convert to Islam, but the time will be off and the door will be closed. I finished what I want to say. Now, drop under this video and read all the miracles which I have written and press the links to make sure of it. And then you don't have any excuse. And if you don't convert to Islam, you will be the killer of yourself.